All right, you've had long enough. Let's go.
See a little boob right there.
I'm not buying the catatonic act.
I know you can hear me.
Because she kept being like, I'm not buying the catatonic act. And I was like, why? Why aren't you buying it?
You are working in a mental facility,
yeah,
ma'am.
I was like, I buy it. I was like, Lydia's weird. Like,
Yeah,
are you
I
new
know.
here? Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Teen Wolf, Season 5, Episode 1.
Creatures of the Night.
What beautiful music they make. I need to, if I'm going to keep insisting on quoting that I need to actually learn the quote.
Is it from Bram Stoker's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The children of the what sweet music like my.
It's from the book.
Oh, okay.
But so it's in like every version.
Gotcha.
But he says it to Jonathan right when he gets to the castle and there's like wolves howling.
And stuff. Yeah.
So we are back. I'm nervous because I don't know how exactly this is going to go. If you've been with us for a while, and I assume a lot of you have been, we've been saying that the show for us was a bell curve, and we thought it peaked really hard in season 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I, from here on out, because season 4 I've actually seen a handful of times now, and I've liked it more each time. So I ended, especially this most recent rewatch, actually liking season 4 a good amount.
Note.
Yeah. And like I said, I just don't like the benefactor, but it's like I like all of the character work and stuff. But from here on out, I think I've seen these once. And so like I remember broad strokes, but it's a lot of like, oh yeah, and like, well wait, is this when this happens? And stuff.
Yeah.
And then my other kind of issue is that I didn't like it as much, and so I don't know what kind of energy I'm going to be bringing, especially because we started from a place of me being really giddy and with Rachel.
Yeah.
And so it's like, much like the show, our coverage has had a couple of different life cycles. So you are totally welcome to come along this journey with us, with the understanding that it's probably not going to be like it was before.
Yeah.
And or so long as you're fine with us just sort of kind of picking at it.
Yeah.
Which again, I don't, because it is a show that I love. I mean, I love this show.
Yeah, it's a very
warts and all.
warts and all kind of thing, but I'm, if it's not good, it's not good. And also, feel free to not say how much you don't like me being here.
It is what it is. Because in case you've missed that update, Rachel tapped out in season 4. She just was not really feeling it. And
she moved to New York.
Well, yeah, she doesn't live here anymore, so that it's a double whammy. Yeah. But I want you to know that we are very cognizant of your experience as well. Like, we realize that, though we are watching and breaking down and analyzing the show, you are also watching us do this, and we want to give you guys like a positive or a fun or an entertaining experience. And maybe you're here for it.
I think it'll be fun at least.
Yeah, maybe you're here for us dragging it, but but no, I love this show, and I'm very protective of it and the creators, and so I don't like being,
they're doing fine.
I don't like being nitpicky. I'm going to come down real hard on Cody Christian. Theo never worked for me. So don't take it personally, Cody, if you're watching.
Yeah, we blessedly didn't get Hayden yet. I think she is early, but we didn't get her yet, but we did get her sister.
We really hated her sister.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, because we have a couple of of our own little colloquialisms and stuff, and we have one of our favorite or least favorite tropes, actually. We call it the female cop with the French braid.
Yeah. And
funnily enough, we were saying that before this character, but she really cemented it, where that's, in a nutshell, kind of, we've only watched the first episode. Like I said, broad strokes, remember what we're doing. But I think my biggest issue, and it's very apparent from the beginning, where we open with Lydia in Icon House being tortured. I think from here on out, they're using pre-recorded screams.
Mm-hmm. I remember you said she blew out her voice.
I think it was in the electricity one. And we'll get there.
I'm so tired. Also,
It's barely even started.
No, I know, but also like I've got logistical questions about like the hiring process at Eichen House because I feel like on the form somewhere is like, are you willing to torment teenage girls?
Before we get into some of the actual individual elements of the episode, I will finish the thought that I was starting. I find a lot of the plots in the episodes and this season to be very artificial, like kind of reverse engineered. And it's very sort of like they're rather than allowing the drama to unfold and build organically, I feel like they pull a lot of stunts, like starting it with Lydia clearly kind of in the future and then sort of tricking us into this flashback. And then at the end of the episode, kind of baiting us with another, like, here's what's going to happen to all of your friends. They're all going to die.
Tell me what happened to them.
Is he the doctor with the hole in his head?
Yeah.
What happened to your friends?
You don't remember?
I don't love this.
Yeah.
And Malia, what happened when the desert wolf finally found her? I know you remember what happened to Styles.
I just also... I think, like, my big problem with this is that I'm just like, yeah, none of that is going to come to pass. Like, you're laying it on so thick for something that's going to be, like, pretty ineffective, to be honest.
And with, like, maybe two exceptions, they're both so vague as to be...
basically nothing. Like, totally ineffective.
So Kira gets into a car in the future? Like, and I get that the implication is that she's going to leave. Yeah. But it's like... Okay, and so, like, Malia gets cornered by the desert wolf? Okay.
Yeah, but, like, to my memory, like, none of those things actually happen that way, like, at all.
Again, to my memory.
Yeah, but, like, not that way. And, like, so Lydia's like, they're all gonna die. And I'm like, I bet you $1 million they're not.
And I mean, that's a stunt that they pull literally every season, sometimes multiple times a season.
I feel like I can feel the strings with this one, though.
And that's sort of what I mean, where I was like, I mean, the whole thing is artificial. It's fake, like, of course. But it feels, like, I can feel the machinations. Like, and this one was written by Jeff Davis. And I feel like historically, the ones that he's written, we've really liked.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, because it also says that Angela Harvey, and
I thought she was fantastic.
Like her a lot too. I don't know.
Maybe she was just show running because she's like.
Yeah, I don't know.
I follow her on Instagram. I've never talked to her, but I've kind of wanted to be like, girl, you got to tell me, like, what was that like? Yeah. Because, like I said, I think she's done fantastic work on the show, and she's also written for some of American Horror Story. Yeah. And we like particularly the Bloody Mary episode with Dominique Jackson.
Okay, the trivia here says during the traffic jam and the heavy lightning storm, Ken tells Kira about the wild hunt and the riders of the storm, which foreshadows the plot of season 6A.
You know, there's a legend for a storm like this.
Please don't turn a 3-hour traffic jam into an educational experience.
Or let your dad cook.
He's talking about the wild hunt,
About the Ghost Riders. Imagine a night like this, Kita.
Is that
Ghost Riders?
I thought that was season 6.
I did too. Maybe they're just laying groundwork.
Black horses with blood-red eyes.
What were they hunting?
Souls.
Because remember, they did it on, like, season 2 of The Witcher, and I was like, why do I know this? And I was like, Teen Wolf.
So they're just, like, putting the groundwork down now.
So love that.
Yeah.
Love that, actually.
Yeah, however, it is the type of thing that it's like, you want me to remember this in 2.5 years?
Kind of. No, I'm gonna defend that.
Okay.
Because that's another one of my critiques I was gonna get at is this episode and this season, as I remember, gets fairly MacGuffin-y. It gets fairly, like, how do we... I keep saying artificial, and that's not what I mean. It's like, how do we orchestrate artificial drama? Like, drama that doesn't feel like it's organically born. What is the word I'm looking for? There's a word that I'm looking for.
Well, you just said both of them. I mean, artificial and how do we like
orchestrate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there's a word that I'm trying to get, but
it does feel deliberate. It doesn't feel like they're letting the plot happen. It feels like they're making the plot happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I guess the only thing that we can say is that thankfully when Scott writes Allison's initials at the end, Kira didn't go stomping off in a huff. Like,
and again, and that's one of the places where I'm like, there it is. Yep. There's the show that I love.
Yeah.
Like, and there are elements of it still in, like, I love where we start off with Scott and Liam.
Mm-hmm.
Liam just works. I think he's actually really great. And I wish I felt better about, because at least Malia's in 3B and season 4. And I know we get Liam in season 4, but it's like, I wish, I feel like so much of his material is like saddled with the weight of like over-engineered plot, or you know what I mean? Like
Liam or Theo?
Liam.
You think Liam has over-engineered plot? You love his story.
No, like the seasons.
Oh,
like
you wish that his good stuff wasn't in the midst of these overly engineered plot. Okay, I get it.
That's what I mean.
I was like, do you mean to say Theo? Because I don't know what you're talking about.
Theo doesn't work for me.
He doesn't.
For 1 second. Look at this, right? I saw his name in the credits.
Not getting anything either.
Such a fucking dweeb. No shade, no hate to Cody. I'm sure he's lovely. I just hate this character. I'm just gonna really pile on, and so I want to distance myself from. And it's like, because literally we see him in the traffic with Kira, and I'm like,
yeah.
And then it just gets progressively worse.
So, because that's the thing. So that basically the gist of this episode is that there's some sort of like Parish is punished, and we couldn't remember why.
I don't remember if that's in season 4, but like he's on Sheriff Stilinski's shit list.
Yeah, he's getting punished somehow, and so he basically is like, "Okay, go check out this noise complaint."
He also very clearly spent the summer working out.
Yes, ma'am. We're having trouble with the power as well. It's most likely related
to
the storm.
Boy.
He's already beefing up.
Oh. Make sure it's fuel.
Remember how skinny he was?
Apparently, this takes place 6 months after the end of season 4. Is when, like, in the timeline. So anyway, so he gets sent out to this noise complaint at this, like, clearly abandoned house. And he's in the basement, and he hears, like, banging on the other side of this concrete block wall. And so he gets in there. Well, it starts oozing
black goo,
which is... Gotta get it in a hinge, like in a mortar spot. Don't get your... What are you doing? What are you doing putting your face near tires, Spirit?
As this world is wont to do.
Beacon Hills is full of black goo. And so then this guy comes bursting out.
Yeah. Peter?
No, isn't he gone for like a while?
I thought he was gone.
Not a werewolf. Put yourself in. Where's Scott McCall?
Never heard of him.
Up, poker face.
He is a werewolf, but different.
Yeah, and covered in the black goo, he looks and sounds too much like
Peter.
Ian Bohen.
Yeah.
And so I remembered the first time being like, oh shit, how did Peter get there?
Yeah.
And then it's just not.
But
And it like, takes too long for you to realize that it's not.
Peter's not in this show again until season 6, I feel like. So anyway, he basically like sucks a bunch of power out of Parish, but he's not like dead. So he ends up being fine. But then he's looking for Scott. And so we all kind of wrap around. Sheriff and Melissa get involved, and they realize that like someone's going after Scott. Apparently, and again,
they don't have a lot of plot at all this episode, but their chemistry is just so good that the shot when like Parish like wakes up, and the way that his name is Noah. I don't think we've gotten his name yet. I always feel weird.
Sheriff
Stilinski.
Yeah.
He like pulls the gun, and Melissa's kind of like movie poster heroine, like.
It's okay.
There's the...
You all right, deputy?
Thumbnail. It's my favorite shot from the episode. I love that.
But yeah, so getting to the point where we meet Theo, this guy is like chasing after Scott, and everything
This
obviously.
other werewolf.
Yeah, everything obviously ends up at the school under that one
Causeway.
little like overpass, like pedestrian overpass, whatever. And so they're all fighting, and then Theo is just there. He just like, as a wolf, inserts himself into this situation and starts fighting the
You'll
other.
notice a trend.
And starts fighting the other werewolf. And then after it's like over and Scott breaks his arm and he like scampers away, everyone's like, who the fuck are you? And he's like,
You don't remember me, do you? I guess I look a little different.
oh yeah, they went to like camp or something together.
Theo?
You know him?
They used to. Trust me, I never thought I'd see you guys again. What do you want? Because I want to be a part of your pack.
Sus. You don't recognize me, do you? And it's just
It's
like,
so
come
smug.
on, man.
And just the notion, because you said camp? Did he say camp?
I don't think yet, but they knew each other as kids.
Yeah, but
thought
I
it
feel
was
like it's
camp.
like elementary school.
Okay.
Which just, I understand that these are teenagers and they have been the whole time, but there's something about being like, remember that kid from elementary school that just kind
Also-
of cripples the momentum.
No, it really doesn't. Also, I kind of feel like it's not even elementary school. I do feel like at some point Styles is like 6th grade. He's like,
Yeah.
we were in 6th grade with him or something.
And it just, the reality, because so much of Teen Wolf is suspending disbelief.
Yeah.
And there's just like one too many things that rear their head where I'm like, oh, there's that disbelief. I cannot
Yeah, I
suspend it
can't-
right now.
I can't hold any more disbelief.
And because I feel like the only place where Theo even kind of works is when you're contrasting him against Styles, because Styles literally hates him for the entire rest of like he never.
Yeah.
Because as I recall, isn't Scott constantly trying to give him like a shot or like
Yeah.
a second chance?
He's like always trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, and
and Styles is like, not on my watch.
He's gotta go. And so I just sort of hate the like, oh, I guess you don't recognize me. And then Scott immediately is like, Theo? And I'm like, if you can't recognize him, then just hearing that sentence should do absolutely nothing for you. Anyway, he apparently heard about that there was like a pack with a true alpha, and then he heard that it was Scott, and he was like, that's why I'm here, to join your pack.
But he comes in with such like an air of authority.
Yeah.
Where it's almost like they should be flattered.
Yeah.
And
I
again,
just also-
I feel like that. I mean, they were probably going for that, but
Yeah.
it doesn't land for the two of us.
No, not at all. And I feel like I remember sometime in the future, he's like menacing somebody in the weight room.
Oh yeah,
But it's
probably the next episode.
But again, you literally were like, but with his like dork face, like I can't do it.
I think I called him a dweeb.
Dweeb, whatever. He's just got like a little dingus face, and I can't.
It's the kind of thing where I'm like, it might have worked better for me if I wasn't fully an adult watching it the first time.
Sure.
Let alone now. Like
Sure.
if I was 16 or 17 watching this, I might have been more on board with it. But I just feel like in a very overall sense, we lose a lot of the whimsy
Sure.
from the first couple of seasons.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love escalating stakes. And again, I love that they gave them like a 6-month window. And there's even the whole conversation about regression to the mean, which is a real thing. And also something that I had like kind of discovered in my personal life around this point.
Yeah.
That happened a lot where I was like, I was sort of hitting personal milestones at the same time as the TV show was covering
Yeah.
things. And so in that regard, I really like that. And I do like the notion that these people have been in this world just sort of living
Yeah.
and enjoying it for a while. And we're just not really, we, the audience, are not watching that.
That's what I like about fan fiction, is you get a lot of the like in between
Uh-huh.
moments. But the other thing too, which I totally agree with, but I think I think you're right about escalating stakes, but I also think you're right about the lack of whimsy, because you definitely need both of those things in a show like this. And I think that they went harder with the escalating stakes and less, like you said, with the whimsy. And to compare it to another similar show that's my favorite, which is Buffy, I would say that like you get into a place where, yes, everything has to be bigger. And so you get into season 5 and it's like you're fighting a god and you're like, oh shit. And then you come back in season 7 and it's again just a bunch of fucking twerps, you know, just like, what the hell is this? But it's like, but the season is juxtaposed where it's like this ridiculous villain while she's going through this like deep, dark depression.
Mm-hmm.
And you're kind of like that, but you still got the whimsy
it has total
somewhere.
Balance.
Exactly. And this, I think it goes too down deep in a hole.
Buffy also benefits from some of the filler episodes because they have the longer season run.
Mm-hmm.
And so especially
we're down to 10 at this point.
In the first 3 seasons, the fact that these were 12 episode seasons, we think worked in the show's favor in expediting, you know?
Getting you in there.
Yeah. But I think when you also feel the need to be raising the stakes, it gets, and also this season specifically, I think, like we get a lot of, I'm not going to say dead weight, but I feel like they bring in a lot of new characters that are there largely for the reason of killing them off.
Sure.
And because I think we get Kelsey Cho in this one, and I remember really liking her, and I remember I don't think that they used her well. Like I said, that's not to say that we hate it or all of it's bad, because as mentioned, I still love Liam's stuff, and he also, I don't know if it's the writing, the directing, Dylan's performance, a combination of the 3 most likely, but I like that because we have him chained to the tree in a very, very like patented Teen Wolf style.
Yeah. Think it's been long enough?
Yes. Hey, trying to have an adult conversation over here.
All right, you're 2 years older than me, and I'm fine. Just let me go.
He said lying.
But after that last full moon,
It was one slip-up.
A dozen calls to the sheriff's department about a monstrous dog boy running around the streets of Beacon Hills naked. That's a slip-up?
why were you naked?
It was really hot out that night, okay?
You sure you're okay?
It won't happen again.
You're in complete and total control.
Yeah, complete and total.
And he's trying to convince them that he's fine, he can handle it. And remember last time when you ran around naked? Hilarious. Why were you naked? It was hot. Love the banter. And then they let him go, and dun dun dun, he was digging his claws into his hand, so he's not okay.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but he also comes clean to Scott, because at the beginning we were like, oh God, why are you lying? But he comes clean to Scott in this episode, like within 30 minutes of like on-screen time.
But that's also what I mean, where I was like, I think that based on the character work and the work the show had already done, that plot works for me.
Yeah.
Like, whereas if you were to pull a similar thing with Theo, I would be like, who are you?
Yeah.
What is any of this to me? You know?
And I think that sort of comes down to the type of thing where it's like, I think he was told to make that, but it's like he does come across very too cool for school in a way where Liam is like a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, flawless as always. Shelley, Malia,
my God.
she just fits in so effortlessly. I love that bit with her lifting the tree.
All right, here we go. Remember, lift with your leg.
Oh, right.
Strong legs.
I actually like her dad. I like that he's still a quasi presence on the show.
Yeah.
And especially because remember the way they introduced him. I mean, he came in hot.
He did.
And the fact that he's still redeemable or looked on like with affection, I think is good. I like, I think the gimmick of them signing their names is cute. Again, like we said, we love that A, they didn't forget Allison, that B, Scott. I also would have been, I mean, I'm fine with it being Scott. I would have been fine if Lydia did it. I think that might have, I don't know. I don't know that I think it would have been better, and I do like the Malia Tate.
Yeah.
Because I
couldn't
totally
remember which one
because you
she
said
chose,
on our watch along, we're still doing the live reactions, the full length reactions. They're over on our Patreon. If you want to watch along with us, you can head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/soimwatching the show and join the $3 tier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, and I still plan on pulling some clips because this episode actually had like 2 or 3 moments where we were like, ah,
yeah.
So I still plan on like pulling some like reactions and stuff, and I still want to make this kind of a fun multimedia presentation. But no, I like the notion that she would have that sort of conflict as to, well, do I identify with my father who's not my father, and also I was estranged from, for lack of a better word, for so many years? Or do I take on this? It's very Rey Skywalker, which actually I think that was terrible.
It was really bad.
Because if anything, just to go on a tangent with that, I was like, it should have been Organa. Leia's name.
Yeah.
Because that was the only Skywalker she had any relationship with.
Yeah.
Like, why on earth would she have
chosen Luke?
Yeah. chosen the name Sky, regardless.
We can't get into a Star Wars thing right now.
Well, but my point is that I think this show actually, because I think she does end up in more of a Malia Hale place. Actually, I don't know.
I don't remember.
I liked it.
Also, she's moving along with the class, so she gets to graduate on time. And
we didn't actually say it, but the not Peter Hale werewolf was an ambassador, like on a mission for the Dread Doctors.
Yeah.
They put him in that wall, I guess.
I don't
know.
I don't know.
We get the Dread Doctors. We'll see. We'll chart our experience. I remember them. I feel like they work better in concept than they do in execution.
I feel like I remember that too. Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, they executed the werewolf very strangely. He like had the sword and he like just stabbed him like this.
I could do it with a little more.
I like them clicking sounds.
You don't remember the chittering? Oh. I don't. He like stabbed him like this. Like he was holding. Ah!
Why are you full of crows?
I was like, it's more of a. I don't know. It was weird.
They are doctors.
Yeah.
So
okay. Maybe it was more precision.
Doctors.
Like, yeah. That was our conversation.
Lydia got trepanated by the doctor with the eye.
But he doesn't have the third eye.
He doesn't have
right
the third eye in these like visions or whatever's happening.
Also,
so.
after the other female nurse.
Ugh.
Because she kept being like, I'm not buying the catatonic act. And I was like, why? Why aren't you buying it?
You are working in a mental facility,
ma'am. I was like, I buy it. I was like, Lydia's weird. Like, are you new here?
But then, because my question at the beginning, I was like, we've had so many experiences with Eichen House. Like, why is anybody still putting these children in this?
Like, well, I feel like we actually do get a lot of Natalie in this.
She's in the next episode.
I feel like she doesn't. In spite of all the evidence to the contrary, I really like Natalie. I'm like, Natalie, you're smarter than this. You're better than this. But
is she?
We'll see.
Yeah.
And we had a fun cameo from Max Carver as Aiden, the dead one.
Sorry, Lydia, but your treatment's not done.
Please, I have to tell them. They're all going to die.
That is apparently the last appearance of him.
Which, I'm like, why would you set this precedent? Like, because I remember, because Derek
Ethan could come back.
He doesn't until the series finale.
I mean, but he could.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I felt about Danny and even Derek, because it's like, I know that Hecklin, that Tyler left, which that I hated that they like leveled him up just to be like, see ya. But part of me was like, I don't know, you can't like carve out 3 episodes.
You can't swing by for a week? Like,
it's 10 years in the past at this point, so.
It's already happened. We can't do anything about it.
So yeah, this is how it's going to be. Hope you like it.
And I don't care if you don't. So there's really no sense in commenting that you don't like it.
We should probably, I don't know, we don't need to be super antagonistic with our...
Hey, I don't feel that was again, this is free and we don't mean anything to you.
So, all right. Well, we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
XOXO.
We should do more of that.
Somebody asked.
Did they? Yeah.